Welcome to Books and Besties, the virtual book fair. Share this link with others and get ready for something awesome. Books and Besties, the virtual book fair.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Books and Besties. I am one of your co-hosts. I am Dr. Angie BEE, also known as the Queen Bee. And I got Atlas the Wonder Dog running around in the background. There he is, coming by to say hello before his nap. We are here for you once a week, me and my bestie Avalon. We are here for you once a week on Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Why? Because we want to introduce you to authors, entrepreneurs, business leaders, community leaders. We want to introduce you to the folks that will bless your life, but you may not have another opportunity to meet them. And so we've got a nice little lineup of guests on the show for you today, and we got lots of products and services we want to introduce you to as well. If you are joining us on Facebook, please give us a thumb up or a heart, and in the comment section, let us know where you're watching us from. If you're watching on YouTube, we ask you to put a little hello and your city and state in the comment section. We just like to know that we're reaching people with this program. Okay, before we get started today, I want to introduce you to a program that we invite you to watch on Sundays. Now, Books and Besties is here on Saturdays for you, but on Sundays at 3:00 p.m., there's a conversation with Mama. So let me show you this little video and then we'll get started with more of Books and Besties. A conversation with Mama.
Many will come on this segment and they will come because they need to have a conversation with their mama.
Amen.
A Conversation with Mama is a series of episodes that discuss different topics that are important to you. Standing on God's Word and the Scripture as found in Proverbs 31:26. Now it's time for today's episode of A Conversation with Mama. Sundays at 3:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sundays at 3:00 Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget, A Conversation with Mama. Okay, it's time for us to get Books and Besties started for this Saturday. I'm going to bring in my bestie, author Avalon S. Brown. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. How you doing?
I'm good. Good.
Good. God is good. God is good. I'm glad about that. I am so excited about you, Avalon. I mean, you retired, had some health challenges and overcame them, and now you cranking out books left and right. I can't keep up. Wait a minute. This one, Under Nana's Umbrella. I just love the fact. Did you say your granddaughter drew this picture?
She ordered a plaque for Mother's Day. The oldest granddaughter did. That's the actual plaque that I have sitting on a shelf.
Wow. I love that one. Under Nana's Umbrella. And then everybody I talk to is still wondering about the Friday Night Secret. They keep asking me. I tell them to go on Avalon's website and get a copy of that book.
Yes. Find out what that Friday Night Secret is.
Yep.
That's fun today.
And then this one about your parents. Tell us about this book, Avalon.
Yes, when my mother was in the nursing home, she started talking about her and daddy's journey. So they both were living on the same compound around the age of 2, and that's how they met, and they played, with the other kids. And even as a young kid, he told her that, he was gonna marry her. And she talked about how he always got on the top of a box pretending he was a preacher. He wanted to be a preacher. So, their journey, from different states, and then at last they ended up, I'm not going to tell you the middle of the story, but they end up north. And this is where they brought me at the age of 2 up north. So it's their story. And eventually he did become a bishop and founded his own church in 1964. So
Wow.
she told the story up until the time that he passed 93. And then the rest of the story, is from me because I end up taking care of her for the rest of her years. I moved her in with me after daddy passed. She was already in her late 70s. So she stayed with me till I couldn't take care of her no longer. And her last 5 years, she spent in a nursing home. But she had her faculties the whole time. And it was such a good thing for putting her there because she just enjoyed herself because at home, in one room. This way,
Right.
she was all placed because the nursing home was one level. And she passed away in her sleep at the age of 98.
Oh my goodness. That
That's,
is beautiful. That is a beautiful story, girl. Oh my goodness. From the sandbox to marriage, faith, and ministry. I tell you, I think I'd be a little intimidated
yes, yes.
if a
That's my
man.
parents on the cover.
Oh, wow. That is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And then you and I work together so well. We really do, getting these books and these projects out. Our next project that Avalon and I are working on together is called I've Had Wives and I've Had Friends. It's a book that's going to include stories from men writing to women to tell us how we can love you. It's an anthology for women written by the men we are trying to love. Sometimes women and men we just can't figure each other out. And so we're asking gentlemen to share their stories and their thoughts and their experiences to really try to help us women figure y'all out. Okay. I've had wives and I've had friends. It was that title was given to me by a man who calls me his friend. And he said, Angie B, I've had wives and I've had friends and I got some stories to tell. And so he's not going to be the only one. We hope to get a couple of other gentlemen and their stories in this project. So the submission fee is only $250, and you can send an email to author Avalon Brown 165 at yahoo.com, or send your information to Angie B Presents. That's BEE like a bumblebee. Angie B Presents at gmail.com. I've had wives and I've had friends. I can't wait. I can't wait to read these stories because men already think we crazy. So they gonna have to tell us what to do and what not to do so we can all get along a little bit better.
Yeah, the men.
Yep. Well, we've got our first comment comes in from Yvonne. She says, good morning, my two beautiful sisters. Good morning, Yvonne. Good morning. Good morning. I appreciate you. I really do. Really do. Well, if you have time, Avalon, Cecilia is here and she's going to be our next guest right after we have a quick chat with Michael D. Scott. Michael, come on in and welcome to Books and Besties, dear.
Yes.
Hello there. Hello there. Greetings and salutations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want you to tell us about Your experience with super immune support and the smash tea.
Well. I was introduced to super immune support 3 years ago.
Wow.
This is my third year, and this is the best health I've been in my entire life.
Oh my goodness.
August the 6th, I turned 73.
Wow.
And I've got energy out the roof on a daily basis.
Wow.
I used to have chronic arthritis and joints aching, flat feet, bad attitude, hot belly, big belly and chicken legs don't really go together at all. So I was introduced to Smash Tea 3 years ago after I'd come back. Well, I had a bout with prostate cancer. This was my 5th year being a prostate cancer survivor.
Oh, great.
And the cancer has stayed away because I've been taking this Smash Tea and super immune support. And it gives me all this energy. I have awesome blood flow. I'm a caregiver. 5 years ago when I was diagnosed, back in 2019, I was diagnosed with what they called low-grade prostate cancer. What's low-grade prostate cancer?
It's still cancer. Low grade, high grade, still cancer.
Thank you. So it bothered me. And during that time, I decided to tell the VA hospital that it was in my family. I never wanted to let them know because I felt that it was very invasive the way the doctors treat us. So I finally let them know. So they wanted to do some tests. Then they told me it was low grade. So then I had to make up my mind what to do. And so all that time in 2020, when COVID was pretty strong and high, I knew I was going to do something. Had to do some serious things. My father, he lived to be 96. And he let us know that he was ready to go. So I had to go help him prepare, And then that particular year, I lost my sister as well because she didn't seem to be able to live without her. So I was pretty depressed after having to wear pull-ups. After I went ahead and had the surgery, I wanted it removed because the things that the doctor told me about going to kill all these cells and some of them might come back.
Right.
Come on,
right. Right. I've heard that.
Didn't make no sense to me. So I said, I talked to my cousin who had the surgery. He said, I agree. Let's take it out. I can live with that. Doing some research, I can live without it.
Right.
So after that, those 2 years were pretty rough. So when I got back to Atlanta, I wound up being a caregiver, taking care of another human being. And that was the hardest thing I ever did. God landed that job in my lap. And so for the past 3 years, I was doing that. And I know that I had to take care of myself, in order to take care of this 6'3" person, the amputee.
Right.
And so when I was introduced to Ernest Warren, through Smash with dfcmarket.com is where I get the products. I was floored because Smash Tea was a powder, 5 grams of powder. You mix it with hot water, hot coffee, hot tea, and drink it in the morning. And it gives you, once it gets in your system, it helps build your cells. Our immune cells, our cells change every morning, every night. And so it got in there and it started working with me tremendously. It's plant-based, Parade On. I talked to the CEO and he just talked to me. He helped make me feel really good about trying it out because we have a men's health call every Thursday night and they have the women's health call every Tuesday night. So you can get on the call, go to the link DFC, get on the link and ask any questions you want. And so I'll become more educated because Ernest educates everybody on the phone calls. Because, we need to read more of everything we put in our body.
We do.
Especially the older we get, because the main things that I call crack is sugar, corn syrup, high fructose.
Yeah.
The 1, 2, 3. That's the killer. That's what's between that all of that going into our Kool-Aid that we've been drinking all our lives, it didn't do a whole lot to help. I'm just saying. But as I started taking the smash tea, I started getting energy because there's 15 stairs in this man's house. So I was up and down the stairs all the time. The bedroom's upstairs and the kitchen's downstairs. So I was up and down the steps like crazy, and it made me feel like a little kid. I had so much energy, changed my whole mood, my whole attitude. I was thinking clearly. I could notice things that happen. It comes with instructions and things we need to stay away from. Sugar, dairy, processed food,
Right.
negative people. But,
Yeah.
But the main thing we need to do is increase our water intake, get some the vitamin D, get you some sun, do some exercises, and little things that make a lot of sense that we need to do instead of standing still. People retire and they want to stand still.
Not Avalon. No, Avalon
Not
retired. She got
like
more
that.
books than I got teeth in my head. I mean, she.
Lord have Well, I am so grateful to know you. We've been talking. She's helped me a great deal. I know nothing about what she knows, but I'm learning. I'm trying to be a sponge.
Yeah.
But
working on things together for you. But now tell me this. You are wearing a veteran hat.
Yes, ma'am.
Does that belong to you or somebody else?
I am a proud Vietnam era, Desert Storm era veteran.
Wow.
Air Force, Army National Guard since 1972.
Oh, thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for your service, Michael.
Thank you. Yep. It's one of the best moves I made. Uncle Sam takes care of his little war babies. The VA hospital, that's another story, but Uncle Sam takes care of us,
Wow. Well, you've got a comment from Yvonne. She said, he is an amazing young man with the power of energy. God bless Mike, and Smash Tea is a powerhouse. Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm.
I have a pair of kangaroo jumping boots. I have a pair of roller skates. I do 5 miles a day.
Wow.
I can do 5 miles a day in this man's house. Just up and down the stairs all day. But I walk the neighborhood and I go swimming and I work out. That started in the mornings at 5 o'clock at a place called Dog Pound Athletic Club. And I try to get it in. I try my best to get it in. I'm when you feel good like this, everybody ought to feel this good at 73.
Wow.
I say it every day. I thank God for giving this much energy. Because I used to pop and crack, you can walk up the steps and you hear this noise. None of that noise. I'll drop down in the middle of the street and start doing push-ups and jumping jacks everywhere I go. People look at me like I'm crazy, but I mean,
getting it in.
I'm getting it in every chance I can because it feels good not to hurt because I remember what it felt like in pain, and I have flat feet. My flat feet and my arch support, I had to wear orthotics. My feet is not giving me any problem. I've gotten the right shoes. When you feel good, you do good.
Yeah.
And you want to try to do the right thing. That's the way I feel in my heart. I want to eat right. I want to eat right. I've got some pictures of me with some pants with 6 inches. I lost 6 inches in the past year. Yes, I went from 230 pounds. I'm down to 190. I've been holding on to 190 for 9 months now.
Wow.
And I do a lot of stretching. And some of my church members, they say, got me going, putting things on, TikTok and YouTube, my little exercise videos. And so I'm really enjoying it. The more I do it, the better I feel. I said, today is the first day of the rest of your life. You better enjoy it like it's no tomorrow coming,
So we encourage everybody to go to dfcmarket.com, dfcmarket.com, and order your Smash Tea. You said it's 5 milligrams in a
no, it's 5 grams. It's a 5 gram package. You can order a 6 pack or a 10 pack.
And you use the whole packet in 1 cup of tea.
to get in your system. Use it with tea, coffee, or just hot water. It works really well when you have something hot, warm.
Okay.
It goes in your system and it gets in there and it does what it's supposed to do, repairing all your cells. Because we have been taking a lot of medications and garbage, and it clears you out. And I have to admit that second day, that bowel movement was the it made you want to do a commercial. That's all I can say. Felt like everything ugly just flushed out, and I said, yeah, you got a new attitude. You
Wow.
want to get in front of a mirror and just it's done something really powerful inside. So I get excited, and I sure get upset when at the times when I was running out of it. If I would run out and I knew my energy level, because I had to test myself, because after say 30 days, you don't have to take it every day. You can customize it for yourself.
Okay.
And that's the powder by itself. And then the super immune support capsules. They come, you get 100 milligram and 500 milligrams. The 100 milligrams are for people who don't really have many chronic problems. But the 500 milligrams, I advise you to get it because you can work it. Even if you may not, you take it according to your weight, is the amount that you take. And it's like smash tea and super immune support is like the 1-2 punch, And for circulation, I've added heart health. There's a third. I call it my trifecta. A pack of heart health.
Okay.
Gets that blood circulating, and it's perfect for we men who lost our libido.
Okay.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. That 1, 2, 3. That 1, 2, 3. You will make your woman smile.
Oh my goodness. That's the next commercial right there. That is wonderful. That is wonderful.
Yes, ma'am. It's changed my life.
Michael, I want you to know that Chris Wilson said that Michael Scott seen me and started jumping jacks and push-ups, and I said, give me what you got. And the same day they got it. And then they said 3 punches is a combination.
That's it. Hey, wow. I saw him. He was walking funny. He had on a Detroit Lions hat, and we are now become extremely close friends. He is an awesome young man. He showed me a lot. He came over rode my house on a moped. This man 6'3", riding over my house on a moped. I said, I know you feeling good. He said it took him 40 minutes to get over there. And he's 60 plus years old.
Wow. Yeah. Something must be working. Something must be working.
It is working. I've shared it with my church members. I've had such positive input. I'm just like a little kid, so I get extra. So I know I shouldn't be giving it away, but sometimes I can't help myself.
You want to help other people.
Right. I want to get them jump started. If you want to feel like crazy as I do sometimes, let's go. If you want something different, you're gonna have to try something different.
Absolutely.
And I don't believe in putting a price on our health like a lot of people do.
Right. I get it. All right, Michael, I'm gonna put you backstage for a little bit. I hope you can still join us later on in the show. If you gotta go, I understand, but if you can stick around, because we want to hear more about the super immune support. We want to hear more about that. Okay, Avalon, do you have Cecilia's bio?
Yes, I do.
Ooh, wonderful. Tell me about her.
Okay, growing up on Long Island with an active father and an English teaching mother, she developed a love of on and off Broadway and studied troupe. Poetry became her first passion, leading her to earn an MFA. She has to tell us what that is, from Columbia University. After she turned to teaching and professional writing, she taught at business writing at NYU Stern School of Business. She later founded a consulting business helping professionals at IBM. the Ford Foundation, Scholastic, and the Girl Scout to improve communication skills. She went on to earn her MS in journalism from Columbia, where she received the Hogan Award for Science Writing, and have since written for medical texts, health publications, and educational companies. I got to get with her. My career has included roles as acting director of public relations for the American Red Cross in Greater New York and editorial director at Select. Now she's based in New York City and upstate. She focuses on books, helping others tell their stories, writing fiction, and publishing 6 books, excuse me, of her own.
Wow.
Her most recent book is Girl with the Silver Hair, a
Oh,
dystopian novel, and was released in 2025.
oh, Cecilia, welcome, welcome, welcome to Books and Besties.
Thank
Oh,
you.
it's a pleasure to have you on the show today, my dear.
Thank you so much. Can you see me okay? It looks to me like my Lily.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
closer where you were up right there. Yes, we can see you. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Mhm,
Thank you.
mhm. So your degree, this is my first question. Your degree is MFA. Is that a master's in fine arts?
Yeah, it's a master in fine art and poetry actually. I kept studying well, I just kept studying everything. I did that in poetry, and then I studied public relations, and I after being a poet for about 10 years, and I got into my early 30s, I realized, I have to make a living, and
Mhm.
poetry is probably really not going to do it. So
It's
I
nice to
started
have.
I started learning how to do all different kinds of writing, and I really had a very wonderful career doing anything that anybody would pay me for writing. I That's why I wrote a lot of educational materials, and I became a journalist, and I did a lot of medical writing, did a lot of writing for hire kinds of projects. But I always wanted to write fiction, so as I came later in life, I'm able to really focus on fiction.
Oh, wow. That is wonderful.
What kind of medical texts were you writing or health text
Oh,
publication?
it was almost all of it was writing for lawyers. So when lawyers have to do a case that involves medical malpractice or
Hmm.
something of that nature, they have to learn about the specific injury or illness that their client has. So I would research, because my other thing was I was going to be a doctor at one point, but then I kept writing, so that kind of went by the wayside. So, but I loved to read about medicine, and I would write a whole book chapter on sprains of the neck other than whiplash, or
Mm.
or cancer caused by trauma. These were the kind of topics that I'd be writing about. It's very interesting. I really enjoyed it.
Wow, sounds like something I could get into. Being a nurse, yeah, that sounds like yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that does sound just like you, Avalon.
But I'm writing so much, right?
Hmm. Hmm. Now, Cecilia, if it's okay with you, I'm going to change your title so
Sure.
that people can find out how to connect with you. Do you have an email or a website you'd like to share?
Sure. Should I just say it to you?
Yeah, and then you can
Um,
spell it.
yeah, my email is just my name, csupel@gmail.com. So it's CSEUPEL@gmail.com. And my website is my full name, CeliaWatsonSupel.com. My maiden name is Watson, so I
I got you.
get that in my
I
um
got you.
yeah.
Tell us about poetry. We talk to authors all the time, and generally they've written stories or novels, but it's very seldom we get poets that are with us. If somebody wanted to develop a poem, what advice would you have for them?
Well, it's first you really need to sit quietly, because I think of all writing, except some kinds of very literary writing, poetry digs deep into the emotions. And
Hmm.
if you are, I mean, I worked with kids a lot with poetry, and if you are just a natural, when you dig down into those feeling about one specific moment, that you have a realization or you see something amazing, or sometimes you don't really even know what you're going to write about, but you just like
Hmm.
get down into that well inside and let words come up, and you
Hmm.
start writing them down, and they may not even make sense at first, but you
Wow.
just keep going and it resolves itself into an image or
Hmm.
something that you want to say. It is the kind of writing that you most need to get rid of the inner critic.
Oh,
Do not like impose an idea of what you should be doing on yourself as you're writing poetry. You just let the words come out.
okay.
And sometimes you come back and you work with it a lot.
Hmm.
Sometimes the way it comes out is almost just the way you want it. It's different
Wow.
with different kinds of poems, but
Wow.
I would say that's the most important thing about it, is to not restrain your or criticize yourself. And of course,
So,
to read other poetry.
so we can't feel guilty about dishes in the sink or laundry in the tub.
No,
We
you
just have
can't
to
be
take
thinking
that
about that.
time and the okay, got it.
But what I wanted to say is that I find when I've been writing fiction, like when I was writing A Girl with a Silver Hair, even though I wanted it to be an entertaining, and it's a thriller, and I wanted it to be an entertaining book, and everybody has told me it's a real page turner. At the same time, I wanted to have that sense of poetry in it. I wanted to have, when I had moments where I wanted to express the emotion of the character, then I could reach into that place where I want to describe and reach for the metaphor or the specific words that I could describe the emotions that the characters are having. And to me, that's the most wonderful experience as part of writing fiction as well. And I hope to write some more literary fiction as well, but this is very much entertainment fiction. I love science fiction. I love fantasy writing, and I always wanted to write. So why don't you write what you love? And I ended up writing the science fiction story.
So, Girl with the Silver Hair is a science fiction book.
Yes, it is. I have it right here. Just hold it up. I guess it looks backwards, and
No.
and this picture is very expressive. It was actually done by this fabulous artist. It was already created, and I licensed it from her. And it's very much expressive of this main character, who is a very powerful telekinetic girl who has been created, really genetically manipulated by the military, and is being used as a weapon. She's just 16 years old, and she's being used as like a military assassin, but she really wants to be a healer. She's starting to rebel against all of this. She doesn't really know what um what this is all about. What She's been kept very isolated. She has four younger brothers and sisters that she's kind of very protective of, and they all have these powers, these telekinetic powers, and they're being trained to be child soldiers. And my son had reminded me that I read a book about a true story about a child soldier that really blew me away. And this kind of abuse where children are recruited, and they're so malleable and young, they don't know anything different. They think they're doing the right thing. But she's beginning, through a kind of spiritual change, she's beginning to realize this isn't right. what's going on here? And she's really been kept in isolation and lied to, and she begins to rebel and find out what she's doing is not good. She wants a different kind of life, a life of healing. So that's why this picture, it actually was used in a medical conference on cancer, and but it's done, the artist is so metaphorical and creative. When I saw that picture, I thought, this is a book about a girl who really wants to be a healer and is being forced into something else. And it's about her coming of age and her getting to really understand her own self and who she wants to be and breaking free. And literally, she does run away and go out into the real world. And then she's being pursued by the government because she's very powerful and they don't want anybody to know about these kids who are experiments. And she has to try to save herself and try to save her brothers and sisters too.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
That's
It,
impressive.
it amazes me how people who do fiction story come up with those kind of ideals. It's like, it just amazes
I
me.
don't know where I don't know where it comes from. Someplace up there.
Character development and oh my goodness, you brought her to life.
Yeah.
Yes, I started this book a long time ago, and as I said, I had to do so much work just to make a living that I developed the book very slowly. Now I'm a little bit more, just able to put all that commercial writing aside and focus on. I'm planning to get the next book. It's the first in a series done by next year. So fingers crossed. Um, but when I first started this, and I was in Manhattan, and I was near my apartment, and it was dark, and I was out walking the dog, and there's this huge anonymous apartment building near my building, which is very old and decrepit. But it has this huge yard in the front of the building with lots of bushes and stuff. And I was looking at it and thinking, if you were homeless, because there are
Hmm.
a lot of homeless, you could creep in there and with a
Mm.
sleeping bag and hide under one of those
Mhm.
bushes. And that's how the whole story started. I'm thinking about, well, why would you be? And then I always go back to my younger self because I don't know, probably traumatized and stuck in adolescence. But, I always have these stories in my mind of an adolescent working through kind of being abused or lied to, and breaking out of it and finding
Wow.
themselves,
Wow.
and I think it's a story everybody can relate to because in some
Wow.
way we've all got to go through that to find our true values and our true selves.
Mm,
And
mm, mm.
so that's how it started and evolved. It became a very different kind of story, but that was the very
Wow.
beginning of it.
That
Wow.
is so fascinating. Fascinating. Oh my goodness. Now, what comes first? The characters that you're going to write about or the 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 story that these characters are going to share? Do you have the story in mind first or the characters first?
Well, I think that's kind of different for different writers and also different genres, but definitely for me, it's always the character. So
Mm.
I had this idea of this character, this girl, and my main idea was that she was going to be very powerful, but not really understand how powerful she is.
Mm.
There are a lot of, and then I think like Katniss Everdeen and oh no, it's just gone out of my head. Catching Fire and all of those books, The Hunger Games.
Okay.
She's very skillful and very strong, but she doesn't really understand how strong she is
Right. I understand that.
until having going through all of these trials and tribulations. And I love that kind of character who, and I guess I feel like it kind of reflects myself because, you know, you I feel like I've been a strong person throughout my life, but when I started out, when I was young, I was always kind of small, third child, felt like I was kind of invisible, and and I had a lot of anxiety when I was a teenager,
Wow.
and I really took it upon myself to heal myself, to find my strength, to find my spiritual direction, to go to therapy, to work on my issues, and I've gone through a lot of major eh, crises in my life,
Mm.
but finding where the strength is to go through all those things and to come out and still find your joy, still
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
who you are and what gives you joy, and
Right.
to not feel sorry for yourself, but to
Right.
have the strength to go forward and find what's going to make things good for you is very
Good.
important to me.
Good. 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 That
Mhm.
is beautiful. 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 Well, let me interrupt for just a minute, Avalon. I know you've got questions, but we just got one little video that we need to play so that our sponsors know how much we appreciate them. So we'll be back with more of Books and Besties in just a bit. Eden, as intended, is an online, all natural beauty products business. We currently sell products for the skin and hair that promote a healthy, natural way to nourish the body and foster extreme hair growth. At Eden as Intended, our mission is to create, promote, and sell herbal products that support the well-being of the total body with maximum results, ushering the body back to natural remedies just as it was intended. Specialized products can be made per request for more serious issues like alopecia, eczema, etc. Search for Eden as Intended. Call 904-356-3502. Eden as Intended. In a world full of noise, our stories whisper truth. Stories of faith, hope, and redemption made to uplift your spirit and stir your soul. Featuring award-winning films, Walking in the Spirit. If not for the Lord, where would I be? Delicious. And the live stage play, It Ain't Over Till God Says Over. And now, the newest film added to the streaming platform, The Signature, in collaboration with Jean Louise and James Burke. Download, rent, or stream our films at www.sisterbattenfilms.com. I want to give a very special shout out to Sister Tina Batten. She has been just a blessing to me and my family. And when we really need some good, wholesome entertainment, I know that I can go to her website and stream something, some film that she has produced, and it's really gonna make me feel better. It's really gonna give me some thoughts and turn my direction towards our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So I do appreciate her, and I'm excited to be able to introduce her projects to you. We also want to remind you that we're enrolling students in our YEP program. YEP is an acronym for Youth Entrepreneur Author Program. And YEP is something that was birthed as a result of the pandemic. We were able to teach a group of middle school students a virtual writing course. And as a result of their participation, each child is now a published author. Their first book is Emerging from the Curve, the curve of the pandemic. That's what they kept talking about. We got to get over the curve, got to get over the curve. And so these little elementary school students are now authors, where they shared their thoughts and feelings and experiences from their point of view. They shared about the pandemic. And you would think that, how are kids, or how were kids affected by the pandemic? And definitely these 5 children were. And so if you know a young person that's interested in becoming an author or an entrepreneur, please get in touch with us, the Youth Entrepreneur Author Program. You can search for Yep, I'm an Author on Facebook, or send an email to Yep, I'm an author at gmail.com. Okay, it's time to bring back Avalon and Celia. And Michael is still with us. Michael, we're going to bring you back in, because Michael, is here to introduce us to the products that DFC Market has. But we as authors, we need to know what to do to stay healthy.
Mhm.
Yes,
No,
indeed. Yes, indeed.
that's an interesting thing too, because I do a lot of I love to participate in activities that, as a writer, you're always sitting around at your desk. So it's so important to get that exercise. And my big hobby has been pickleball. Do you all know about pickleball? I just love it. It was so weird when I first heard about it, but
Go
it's
tell us about it. Tell us about it, in case some of the viewers don't know
all
what
right.
it
Well,
is.
it's the most fun sport. It's great for people who are older as well as young people. And it's sort of like tennis, but with a paddle instead of a tennis racket. And the court is much, much smaller. And you play with this wiffle ball, kind of plastic wiffle ball. So it doesn't really go that far. So you run, but you don't have to run a lot. In fact, I knew some people, they were in their later 80s, and they would just basically kind of stand there at the net and hit the ball, because they could just reach it. And you always play in doubles, so it's a great socializing time with your
Oh,
friends who are playing, because you're playing with at least 4 people, and you usually have 5 or 6 or 7 there. And then you just learn how to score it, and you play a game like any
okay.
other kind of racket game. And
Okay.
I'm at the moment recovering. I played so much for so long. I'm recovering from my shoulder got kind of a little
Mm,
tired out, so I've had to take a
mm.
break. But that's a really wonderful sport to get into for your health.
Okay. Okay.
Ben Gay still works.
Ben Gay,
Yeah.
I haven't tried that. I think I might try that.
Mm. But I had a question for Celia. I see that
Yeah.
you published 6 books. Are all of your books fiction?
No, in fact, this is my very first book of fiction. My first 2 books are poetry. And then, I started publishing, I've been writing since I was a child. So I started publishing in my 20s. My first 2 books were poetry, um, published by a small press that I eventually also worked for. And then I wrote 2 books for hire. So they give you kind of an outline and what they want you to write about. And those were for young adults, about different kinds of careers that you could get in different. And then the next book that I wrote was a memoir. My brother suffered from obesity really since he was young, and he struggled with his weight his whole life. And all of a sudden, it seemed like maybe he was dying of
Mm,
obesity. And
mhm,
I decided to kind of chronicle what happened, because we were all terribly distraught, and I really tried to save him. And it was kind of a little bit too late. And in those that he had a heart problem by then, and he was really
mm,
too fragile to have gastric surgery. And he
Mm-mm.
did start really seriously losing weight, but it was kind of too late. He eventually did pass away from
Mm.
it within the year, and so it's a story. I think maybe it wasn't so popular because it didn't have a happy ending, but it
Mm.
did in a way because I was there with him, and our family came together, and but it's about the story of struggling with that addiction. I mean, people talk
Mhm.
a lot about drug addiction, alcohol addiction, but food can be a terrible addiction also.
Mhm. Yep.
And
Yep.
and
Sugar
and
and chocolate, and yes, it can
yeah,
be.
and you don't want to like make anybody feel bad about being overweight, but it really damages your organs and can
Mhm.
even lead to cancer, but certainly leads to heart disease. And so I lost him way before his time, but I was very glad that I tried to help him. So I wrote a memoir about that. So that was the
Wow.
book I wrote before this one.
Wow. Absolutely
That was
fascinating.
called Eating the Shadow. Yeah.
Oh.
In fact, I have a picture of it right here. Yeah,
Mm.
it was a very cathartic. This was the book that I wrote
Oh.
about Eating the
Wow.
Shadow. And yeah, hopefully can help people who have a family member who is suffering from that, because it affects the whole family,
It does.
not just the person who's suffering with it.
It does. It does. Definitely. Definitely. Well, Michael D. Scott is not suffering. How much weight did you say you
Yeah,
lost on on
I
your
went,
super?
that's
I
exactly right.
went, I came down I was been 120 to 130 pounds for the past 15, almost 20 years.
Wow.
And it's
Wow.
just big old belly, and, so I follow some instructions, take somebody's advice. The products were prayed on, and Minister Warren, he's a minister, and awesome personality. He wants everybody to live healthy. He wants everybody to live healthy. And he developed dfcmarket.com, and they have products also. All the products work. And instead of like the medications that we've been taking for years, instead of having side effects, they have
Hmm.
side benefits.
Mm.
Because on these phone calls, Tuesday and Thursday nights, people are always saying something else that found up curing. A person with lupus said it helped her a great deal.
Oh wow.
Uh,
Yeah.
I have some nieces in Detroit that have Crohn's disease, and their
Mm.
immune system is compromised. These products attack, and the products are like the police of your body. That's what your immune system
Yeah.
is. It takes care.
Wow.
And taking that and just doing a few little things that you may not want to do. Stop drinking, leave
Yeah.
alcohol out of your life, and get you some sun, get some exercise, and get that in your system, and it's going to change some things. It's amazing the way they work. All the products work. Keeps certain uh, all the issues you have. It's going to make you want to do better and change a lot of your habits. And I've changed a lot of my habits, so
Mm.
I have no time to be ill.
Oh,
I have
good.
no time, no time.
No
I
time.
got an attitude. I have an attitude when you talk about me being sick. I don't even know how to spell it. This is my first book that I'm writing, and I'm so grateful, because it has changed my life, and it really has. And I want to share it with the world. There's a lot of veterans that's going through what I've gone through,
Mm.
and it's no fun wearing a pull up, and being lied to by the doctors, deceived, telling us half truth, you know,
Mm.
and but the super immune support is so awesome. I have had sniffles. You could go into areas where you have an air condition, you hot and cold all summer, and you can get some sniffles, or you be around some people in a public place, you get some sniffles. That never happened. I mean, when the times that it happened, I said, I pop one of those super immune supports, gone. Within 30 minutes, it's gone.
Mm.
It's
Wow.
amazing. It's
Wow.
amazing the way it works.
Wow.
Because once you got it in your system, it's just like it catches on and say, hey, I'm not going to catch up. I'm going to catch on and stay with you as long as you do these things. And so it got me hooked. I'm hooked. Everybody that I know, it's got them hooked. They don't want to run out, and I love it.
I have a question. I heard you say that it flushes out your system, like, it made you go to the bathroom. Did it cause
Yeah.
any cramping?
No cramps, no nothing. It's like meant to be. When I tell you, you may want to remember that crazy commercial. That guy said, "I just lowered my cholesterol." That's the way I felt when I went to the bathroom. It was so flushing. It just flushed everything out. At first
Yeah.
bowel movement, and after that, we're supposed to use the restroom every time we eat.
Right.
And we're not supposed to go to sleep every time we eat. So,
Right.
these
Right.
products work really well. You keep some fluid in your system because our body is mostly water, 75% water. Keep some fluid going through you, and get you some exercise. I'm 73 years old. I want to be the healthiest 73-year-old that I know. People my age are not doing the things that I do. That's why I do what I do in public. And but an immune system is amazing. It put up with a lot of our bad habits. So just imagine how to treat us if we start getting some good habits.
Amen. Amen.
Mhm.
There you go.
Because
Celia, we got a question for you from
Yeah.
one of our audience members. Um, how how did you I'm trying to read it. How did you discover the Small Press Publishing Company? How did you find them?
Um, actually, a really good source is Poets and Writers magazine. Also, another really good source. Well, there are. I really like and they're still around. Poetsandwriters.com probably, I think, might be .org. But they have wonderful listings of small press.
Okay.
And they not only have listings, but they describe what the presses are interested in or whether or not they're accepting. And what I always really did was if a place has a magazine as well as being a book publisher, then if you start publishing in their magazine, they get to know you as a writer and become more interested in publishing your book. So that's a
Okay.
way that really helps get a foot in the door.
Okay. Okay. You got to do a little bit of research.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, what is the next book that you wanted to introduce us to?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, yes.
The next book is the next book in this series. This is Girl with a Silver Hair. The next book is going to be Boy with the Sun in His Hands.
Oh,
And it's going to be a bit more of a romance, a forbidden romance, as well as a continuation of the story of basically it's the government, it's in the near future in America, and we no longer have the vote. There is a man in power who is actually the one chasing these very powerful children, who is just interested in promoting wealth and fossil fuels. The world is suffering from environmental damage and is very powerful. Doesn't really sound anything like today, right?
no, no, no,
Uh,
no.
I'm hoping this never comes
That's
to
why
pass.
I'm laughing.
And so they are still being pursued by the government but still fighting to kind of maybe start to liberate the world, or at least the United States, from this man who's become a tyrant instead of an elected official.
Oh,
And
well.
and and, and also find a way to make the environment more healthier. So that has a little bit of the sci-fi in it. This is a little bit of technology that has been invented that will help us get off of dependence on fossil fuels, try to improve the environment so that we don't continue the global warming. And so, you know, it's got everything. It's got the same as this. I hope it's going to be a page turner. It's got thriller elements, but it's got spiritual elements about healing, and it's also about making changes to make the world better in a way that we really could start doing right now.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
I tell you, that is
Wow.
amazing.
Wow.
Yes.
To just to be able to create the characters. Avalon, we're gonna have to work on something where we can
I,
create the characters, give them names and personalities, and oh, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, there are a lot of
Mhm.
wonderful tools that you can
I can
use.
feel that I had a good imagination as a child. I don't know where it went.
It's still in there. It is still in there. Believe me, it's just we layer over it with a lot of judgments. But if you can let
Mhm.
go of all the judgment and just get in touch with that pure, you know, childhood creativity, it comes out. It just does. But I was going to say there are a lot of great tools for developing your characters. You write about their history, you write about their parents, you write about what they love, what's their favorite color, what do they love to eat, you know, how do they feel about this, that, and the other. And you really, you know, if you feel as you're writing, you feel like I don't really know this character well enough, you really go into that. You just write about the character and they become more and more and more real.
Mm, 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 mm.
Mhm.
Absolutely fascinating. Absolutely. I admire you. I truly do.
Thank
I
you.
truly do. That creativity.
Well,
Oh my goodness.
the
Mm,
really the hard part is getting anybody, as Michael knows and you'll know, to get anybody to look at what you're doing, to become visible.
mhm.
There's so many people writing books these days. It's hard to become visible, to find the people that you know who could really love and benefit from what you have written. As Michael is
Mhm.
saying, you know, there are so many people who could benefit from what you are telling all of us.
Right.
And yet, how do you get the word out? Well, you guys
Right.
help a lot doing something like this,
Mhm.
but that's always a
You
work.
always get women. One thing about when men is something that we have a fear about as far as seeing our doctors. I can't, it bothers me, but that's why I'm so adamant about getting the word out, because we don't want to know the truth a lot of times. If we have an illness, we don't want to hear it. As opposed to women, you like on the women's health call, you all talk about
Right.
everything. I'm loving it the way you share, and we need to be more like that so we can help each other. So
Well,
I'm a,
you need to reach out to the women who will then tell the
Mhm.
man in their lives that
Mhm.
they have to get this stuff.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
like
Not
it.
as
I
much,
like
yeah,
that.
right?
Yep. Yep.
I
Yep.
like that. Make sure you get on that women's health call Tuesday night, please.
Okay.
That'd be it.
How do we get on the group call,
Okay,
Michael?
go on to dfcmarket.com,
Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay.
and they have an area there where they have they have testimonies, they have the phone call, the women's health call and men's health call. It's
Okay.
listed, you know.
Okay.
And you get on that call, I know you all will enjoy yourself, because because you have so much to share.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. See, they won't let me listen to it, because it's for the women, Unless there's sometimes that he will let us, if we have something serious to share, like things like this is Cancer Month, right?
Yes.
I think sometimes we may be able to listen to, we have to wait to the boss has to okay everything.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
And I just want to put it out there. It's Cancer Month. but we always talk about getting our mammograms, we women.
That's right.
And my son-in-law still cringes when I even bring up the topic. But we need to get up in the stirrups too. We need to let the doctors examine us through our blood work and exams. We, October is about fighting cancer, and we really need to get in there and get checked by the doctor. We really do,
Mhm.
really do, really do. My goodness, I cannot believe it is noon. Okay, we
Woo.
got
Wow.
we
Time flies when you're having fun.
Thank
it
you so
does.
much for having me on. This is really fun.
You're
Oh,
Thank
welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for sharing and educating us on MFA. Thank you for sharing. We
you.
appreciate you, dear.
Mhm.
All right, we're gonna get backstage for just a minute, you guys, because we and Celia, if you have to go, we understand, or you can stick around and we have more questions for you. But um, Avalon, somebody always asks this question: how many children's books have you written? And do each of your grandchildren get a book written about them?
yes, they do. So let's see. I have seven. Yeah, two children, seven grands, and three great grands. I have to start counting.
Woo.
Each one of them have a will have a book that they're the character. So far, six of the grands have a book. One of them have six of the grands have a book.
Mhm.
One of the great grands have two books. So I still have to do two of the other great grands, and I'm working on the oldest grandson book right now. So I'm working.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I kind of lose count sometimes because then I'm jumping into other children books that's not my grands now. So because
Mhm.
my son gave me an idea, and then I had another idea from another. So it's like they just
Ah,
keep coming. I'm almost losing count. It's probably
wow.
about 8 or 9 out there by now,
Oh,
and a couple of
wonderful.
them are on or let me see about how many is audiobooks, maybe six of them. I know Angie
Mhm.
has my children's audiobooks, so quite
Mhm.
a few of them are out there on Audible.
Oh my goodness.
My
That is
name.
a blessing. That definitely is a blessing. We want to allow people the opportunity to receive literature, whether they're reading or scrolling or listening. It's literature is very important to the advancement of education. So when I hear authors like you talk about how you've got your book available in print and ebook and audiobook, I salute you, Avalon. I truly do, because I know it's a labor of love,
I
and you
I,
getting it
uh,
out.
I just put my parents' book in hardback. Also, yes.
Really?
So if
Does,
you want to go, you can go to author avalonsbrown.com. You can see all my books. Yeah,
wow.
their book put in hardback.
I've never even thought about putting any of my books in hardback, but I truly see how that would honor them. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay, we got another shameless plug we're going to throw in here for all the men. We want you to be a part of our anthology. It's going to be a book for women, but it's going to be written by the men we are trying to love, because sometimes you men can be difficult. We just trying to love on you, and we need to hear from you as to how we can better do that. Gentlemen, you are cordially invited to become an author in our anthology by sharing your thoughts and experiences. You can send your bio, your headshot, and your story. The submission fee is $250, and we've broken that down into payments if you'd like. but you can send an email to author Avalon Brown 165@yahoo.com for more information, or send your information to Angie BEE Presents @gmail.com. And that's Angie BEE, Angie BEE Presents with the S on the end @gmail.com. Working on the book that will be titled I've Had Wives and I've Had Friends. We want to hear from the men in our lives. We definitely want to. Definitely want to. All right, Avalon, I know this is October, but we had a wonderful Alopecia Awareness Month in September. We all got together and had an all white photo shoot. And our photographer and videographer captured just a little bit of it. So I'm going to play this 1-minute video so you can kind of see what we did with the Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Beauty Bazaar photo shoot.
Right.
What all them bald women doing over there? We are being ourselves. We are being wonderful. We are being fearfully made. We are being the people that God has allowed us the privilege to be. And this is the day that He made, and I'm rejoicing and I'm glad in it. So we're going into the ruins now and going to see how we feel. Man, I tell you, that was so much fun being out in the woods. I mean, the mosquitoes got to us after a little bit, so we couldn't stay out there for very long. But the photos that we took in the ruins, the photos that were captured, and that little video of us, that for the Beauty Bazaar weekend, for the whole weekend retreat, Friday is our day to really spread awareness. We are all dressed up in white and we're out in a public place, so that when people see us, they question, they wonder, and that's why we do the weekend. Saturday is the fashion show and the beauty bazaar, and we got to get Michael D. Scott to come and do chair massages next year because we definitely we could use a little bit of TLC. And so it is a weekend that ends with prayer. It starts and ends with prayer. It starts Thursday night, where I'm praying for people as they're traveling to where our host hotel is, and it continues throughout the day on Saturday, and then Sunday, where we're praying as people check out the hotel and they're headed back home. So this year we raised a little over $250 for the National Alopecia Areata Foundation, and I'm just excited. We had a wonderful time, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you did. All right, bringing y'all back in. Yep, the mosquitoes definitely got us, but it was worth it. So, Michael, let me ask another question that came through about the smash tea. I think we answered it, but how much is of the packet do you use in your tea or your hot water? Is one whole packet in one cup, or is it like half a packet, or how do you do it?
I would suggest, to get it in your system, 8 to 10 ounces of liquid, the full pack.
Full pack.
I would suggest the first 5 days, it's going to make changes that you could not believe. And once you get it in there for at least 5 to 7 days, you'll be able to customize it. You may not want to take the whole pack.
Okay.
You'll be able to control it. because it's going to cause you to do the positive things that you need to do. And you can customize it. Like I say, when I started feeling that good, I said, well, this works well enough for me to go ahead and read that paper and follow the instructions.
Yeah. Yes.
It makes sense. We, and try our best to try not to put a monetary value on your health.
Right. You're right.
Because it's very important. That's what we do a lot, and we shortchange ourselves. And I got friends now who have not tried it, and they're sick. I don't believe in putting stuff in. They asked me 900 questions, but then they tell me I don't feel like putting a whole lot of stuff in. I said, hey, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Right.
But that's why I'm doing the things that I do to show. I'm a person that's always in the public, and I feel good. I do manicures, pedicures, massage therapy. At 73, I am not slowing down, and I'm not going to stop. So everybody that I've turned on to, they seem to have, a lot of people are reluctant to say, but they feel good, doing things that they don't normally do,
Yeah.
And most of these people are in church, so they're not gonna come in church line. but it's a joy.
I've learned so much from you, Michael, and I truly appreciate it. Somebody just sent a message that said they're on DFC Market right now, looking around. So
all right. We have DFC cruises. We have sprays that cures COVID in your house. Spray it in your vents. Oh, it's an abundance of product. All those products work. You get on DFC and get a lot. They have beauty products as well. And women are interested in them beauty products, and they will talk about them on those Tuesday night health calls. You hear those stories? Those stories. Yeah, you know how you women share stuff. They got something for you.
Yep, we women, the first evangelist.
That's right. Just in the words of Mom's Mabley, I got something to tell you.
You sure do. All right, Michael, I didn't want to keep you any longer. I know you've been with us over an hour, and I'm grateful for you. I really am.
Thank you for having me. I enjoy this. You can't stop smiling.
Oh, yep. All right. I appreciate you. And thank you so much, Michael. God bless.
Thank you. Take care. God bless all of you.
Super immune support and the smash tea. I finished my smash tea. Yep. I haven't been taking the full packet. So I was grateful that somebody asked that question because I forgot about asking it. Now I know I need to take the full packet and stay close to the bathroom.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. I tell you.
Celia
was oh, say that again.
I said, sound like that would make you weak, flushing you out like that.
I don't know, because when you have a colonoscopy, you got to get cleaned out, and yeah, they don't even let you eat past midnight.
It always make me so weak.
Wow, I got you. I am truly enjoying our conversations today. I appreciate you, and I want you to please share with everybody. You've written a couple of projects about your career in nursing. And I remember you telling us that your father said something to you about not quitting, tell us that story again, sweetheart.
Because nursing school is very rough. It was rough. I'm not gonna even paint a good picture because it was so rough because I think I was in almost probably in my junior year of college, and it was because each semester got harder and harder and harder. And I had went to my father. I had told my father, I don't know if I'm going to complete this because this is just too hard. And he had, he sat me down and talked to me. And I always carry those words with me. He said, never let them make you quit because that's what you want. That's what they want you to do.
Right.
So
Right,
of course
right.
I continued and made it through. I passed the exam the first time. Matter of fact, I think we were the last class to actually have to do the 2-day paper exam.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Wow.
now they get it on the computer and the computer might shut off before who knows. But we had the 2-day, 8 to 4, all day long. Of course, we got a lunch break, but it was a 2-day test. And I think we were the last class to do that 2-day test. And
Wow.
I was so shocked. I passed it on the first try. And I was just glad because at the time I was an LPN and my father, and 6 months later, after I got my license, we walk into work and they're handing all the LPNs pink slip. No
What?
weeks notice, anything. And I was like, thank you, Lord, you was watching out for me. I felt bad for them because they walk into work, didn't know that that's when they stopped. I think that was back in 90. When was that? Back in 92, 3, somewhere along there when they first, they stopped having LPNs in the hospital.
Oh
But
my
I
goodness.
swear, and I had just passed my exam 6 months prior
Wow.
because I was working as an LPN during that time.
You had just made it.
Just made it. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He said never, and that sentence always stick with me no matter what I go through, no matter what I went through and working. He said, never let them make you quit. So,
Wow.
that's why our book, that's where part of the book came from. Nursing is our passion. We can't quit. The project that we worked on. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it. We've got so much respect. Well, I do. I have so much respect for the nurses that have taken care of me because it seems like they have to do all the dirty work. They've got to give me my medicine and help me get back and forth to the bathroom. It just seems like the doctor just scrolls in, takes a look at you, and strolls back out. But it's the nurses that respond when I'm pressing the button and my pain is not controlled, and I try not to be a difficult patient, but if I'm laying there and something's going on, I do need some help. And
Right.
so I've always appreciated the nurses that were assigned to my care.
Yeah.
And from a patient's point of view, that's
That's
what I'm going to be writing for your next book project.
you. Yeah.
That's what I plan to do. It's definitely what I plan to do. Well, we gotta take another quick break, and it is 12:23. When we get back, we may be talking a little bit about the process of publishing a book. We do have a couple of questions from folks. They want to know how they can get their book published, and so we'll be able to help them out with that. So we'll be back with more Books and Besties in just a minute, everybody.
Hi, this is author Avalon S Brown. I am the visionary of this project. Recently, I've been speaking to different nurses who have been expressing and voicing their challenges and their frustration while working in the field. So I decided to reach out to different nurses from different specialties and bring them together to create a book so that they can write about their experiences, their challenges, their frustrations that they experienced in nursing and how they overcame them and why those challenges did not make them quit. This is going to be a very important book for the next generation of nurses because they can see that they are not alone out there. The nurses before you have gone through these same type of challenges, these same frustration, but they never allowed it to make them quit because nursing is their passion. And this is what we want you to know. Keep your passion. Never let them make you quit.
Audiobook produced and promoted by Angie BEE Productions. We can help you put the pieces together. Audiobooks, flyers, commercials, and more. Angie BEE Productions on Facebook. Living with anxiety and depression can feel like you're drowning. Come join a tribe that will help you press through parenthood and life. maternalmattersfavored.org, mmfavored.org. DJ Shaheem Care Mix Edits. Explore innovative fusion music of hip-hop, house, Afro beats, and gospel genres all rolled into one perfect mix. Visit the world of a gospel praise experience as DJ Shaheem shares his new edit packs, filled with a remarkable experience. Enhance and elevate your worship experience through praise as we embark on a new and unique purpose to glorify Jesus and what he has been able to do in our lives. If you are looking for a different vibe in your worship and praise experience, this will definitely keep you moving and inspire you throughout your day and week. These mix and edit packs are not only for DJs and radio stations, but are meant for gospel music lovers as well. Take time out and visit DJ Shaheem Care Mix Edits for your music source. Support the ministry as we reach others and draw them closer to Christ. Stay blessed, safe, and encouraged. DJ Shaheem Mix Edits. .sellfy.store. Okay, we're back with today's episode of Books and Besties. I am the Queen Bee, also known as Dr. Angie BEE, and my bestie on the show is author Avalon S. Brown. Got you back on screen. And our next guest is Dr. Michelle Dartis. She has joined us. And yep, so I'm going to give you a minute to get her bio together. But Dr. Michelle, you're sitting in the dark. If you have a light that you can put in front of your face or turn more towards the window, when the light is behind you, it puts a shadow on your face. So I know it seems like it makes sense that you got all that sun coming in the window, but it's got you sitting in the dark. So we're gonna wait for her to get situated. And Avalon, we got questions about self-publishing and how a person can get through the publishing process. So I know we work together with helping people get their books published, but what do you think is one challenge that authors have when they're trying to get their book situated? What's the hardest part of it?
In the beginning, my hardest part was finding out how to get it published.
Mm-hmm.
But now I actually sat down and read all the instructions in Amazon to figure out how to publish my own book, because they have a section in Amazon Kindle Direct, Amazon Direct Kindle. Go under tools. They have a section there with all the instructions. And I actually sat down and went through each and every one of those instructions to find out how to do my own book, because I was being charged so much, almost $3,000 by publishing companies. And then when I met an author that told me that I could do my own publishing on Amazon, that's what I did. I went in and I read all the instructions, followed all the instructions. They also have templates to help you with the formatting, with your book cover. And I sat down and read all of that and figured out how to publish my own book. So now I can even, help others learn how to go into Amazon and do the same thing I did.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And for those folks that really don't want to go through that process of reading and learning and understanding, you can contact Avalon and I, and we will help you. We'll tell you how to get your ISBN, how to get your barcode. We'll help you to be sure you have enough words written in your book. There are limitations. You got to have about 10,000 words. And when you tell a new author that 10,000 words might as well be 10 million if you haven't started writing, or you're not sure where to finish your story, you definitely want to do that. working with Avalon, and I will get your book cover designed for you, and the editing process. Editing is just so important. I love that Avalon edits with Grammarly. Um, we also have a member of our team that is their degree is in English, and they specialize in the editing that helps your story to flow. You know, sometimes in chapter one you're talking about something, but then in chapter three you're talking about something else, and so that content editing is very important, very important. What comes first, and then our team will look over everything again with editing, because I look at editing like, how does it flow if you're listening to it, because I'm the audiobook narrator. And so if it's difficult for me to run it through, then it may need a comma or a question mark, or it may be a run-on sentence. And so we as a team with Angie BEE Productions, we can really help you out with your editing, can really do that. So after your book cover and your editing, it's got to be formatted. And Avalon is the best at getting a book formatted so that it can then be printed. Sometimes we don't even think about that. We're just typing our stories, but it's got to be formatted into a size 6 inches by 9 inches. You got to have your paragraphs set up so they're not cut off halfway through. Formatting, I think, is the most valuable thing that you bring, Avalon, you bring to our partnership, because formatting so that the book flows well. It's so important. So important. And thanks for the comment, Yvonne. She said that was very informative. Thank you. Thank you, Yvonne, for checking in on Facebook. Okay, Avalon, can you tell us about Dr. Michelle Dartis? Can you tell us?
Yeah,
Thanks.
Dr. Michelle is a behavioral health consultant, therapist, educator, and self published author with over 35 years of experience in mental health, human and social services, and higher education. Known for
Hmm.
her compassionate, strength based approach, she empowers individuals and communities to live with purpose and resilience. Dr. Darris has advanced degrees in human and social services, higher education, liberal science, and has taught adult learners for over a decade. Writing as Dr. Zyper, that's her pen name. She might say it different. She blends emotional intelligence with practical tools for growth across genres. Her published
Mm.
works include children books, a productivity guide, and an exploration of racial identity, with a young adult novel forthcoming.
Wow.
Yes,
Dr. Michelle, we can't wait.
yes,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
for
for having me.
joining us.
Hmm.
Thank you. Welcome to Books and Besties, Doc. I
Thank you.
appreciate you. So, why did you decide to start writing books, Dr. Michelle?
It had been a passion since I was a kid. I
Mm.
can remember being as young as 6, 7, 8, and I used to write on everything. I would write on my sheets. I would write on furniture. Carve my name and stuff. And my mother, and I'll never forget it. She's not with us anymore, but I'll never forget. She used to say sometimes that if you be still enough, Michelle will write on you, and that was far from the truth. She used to say that all the time because she always found me writing on something, and I kept a diary slash journal for starting at about age 10, and I wrote in it every day. I was very dedicated up until about age 35, and I still have all of them too.
Wow.
So it had always been just something innate in me that I had this yearning to to, write and talk to the world and that kind of medium.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
And my first published piece was an article about being a teenage mom. I had my daughter the night before I turned 18. So her birthday is December 18th and mine's the 19th. And she is my only child to this day. She's 38 years old now. And that was published in our local newspaper, Indianapolis News. In
Nice.
97.
Nice, nice. Well, I know Avalon's got questions for you, but I want you to adjust your camera just a little bit. If you can pull it down. See what
Okay.
Yep, keep going. Keep going.
More?
Yep, a little bit more. Because okay. That's good. That's good. Okay, Avalon, I'm gonna step out the way. Go ahead, sweetie.
What made you want to go into mental health?
When I first started looking at school, colleges, I ended up never taking the SATs. I was supposed to, and then different things happened where I just never went. And so I knew I wanted to go to school. And so I ended up starting at our local college, community college called Ivy Tech. And because you didn't have to have your SATs to go there. And I chose human services. I thought about it, what field I wanted to go into. I thought about psychology and all these different things, but human services is the one that stood out the most to me because I know I wanted to help people. So that's what got me started. And so from there, I ended up getting my social work degree, undergrad, in 2004. And all along, I was still working already in the field at different, nonprofits here in town. And then having to pay for it on my own too, because my parents didn't have the money, there for me to help me pay for school. So at Ivy Tech, I got the Pell Grant. So because I qualified as a single mom. So that's how I didn't have to pay to go there. But starting my bachelor's, I had to get student loans. And then from there, what did I do next? My next degree was, I wanted to go to grad school, but, I didn't want to pay for it or take out more loans. So I chose just to keep working. And then the opportunity came along to go to library school, believe it or not. Here in my state of Indiana, they were looking for people of color to attend library school at Indiana University, or what was known back then, Indiana University, Purdue University at Indianapolis, IUPUI. And so I was like, well, and it was a free ride, full scholarship, monthly stipend, all that. And I was like, well, I never pictured myself being a librarian, but I do want to go to grad school.
Yes.
And if they're going to pay for it, I'll do it. I love school. I love libraries. I love to read. So all that was already there too. So I got in that program and I really enjoyed it. It was something different, obviously a step away from social services. But it gave me some opportunities to go travel. I went, like, for example, there was a place we got to go to a conference at Princeton. So things like that I had to do back then. And we're talking, the mid 2010, 2009, 2010. And they had like 4 cohorts for this program. But unfortunately, the agreement was for us to stay in the state of Indiana for at least 2 years post-graduation and to work as a librarian. However, there weren't enough positions to be had. So they had to release us from that so people could, find, jobs elsewhere outside of Indiana. And that wasn't a possibility for me because I was my father's caretaker at the time.
Oh.
There was no way I could leave, and try to find a position someplace else. I did still try to find something, but, I would go to interviews and was told, yeah, you have your MLS degree, master's in library science, but you don't have, the professional experience.
Oh, wow.
I need that. Yeah. And so I was like, and I was thinking back up, okay, what am I going to do now? And so I ended up understanding that I really enjoyed being on campus, just the atmosphere, being there with students and the professors. I said, well, let me see about a position, just on campus, a degree, and all that. So I ended up looking to programs and I chose another, graduate program. This time it was online, Walden. And I chose to pursue a degree in student services. And so I did that program. And, and I finished that one in 2013. But it's still, I just kept running into the issue of me having a degree, but I didn't have the professional experience. So again, I just kept working, obviously, and but I always wanted to get my PhD. That had been on my to-do list for, 20 years. But again, the cost scared me.
Mhm.
So I put it off for a long time. And then, now plus I wanted to be the first in my family to get my master's, which I was. I had 9 kids. My parents had children when they came together. Then they had 4 together. I'm the first of that 4. And then, so I just said, you know what? But then my father, he was in nursing homes for a while, and then he asked to come back home. I figured out a way to get him back home. And so, I had him home in the house where they raised their family, their 6 kids. And, I said, well, I got dad here. I have services set up for him, home care services. Let me go ahead and just go, apply for a program. So I looked into different programs again, and I chose Walden for the second time, Walden University, which is the online school. And it decided to, so well, I might as well stick with mostly what I know, which is social services. That's why my degree is in, my human services. And I finished that program earlier this year. Finally, it took me about 6 years.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Long time to be in school.
I can only imagine.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Mm, mm, mm,
So,
mm.
Mm.
On the campus.
So what type of children books have you written?
I'm glad you asked because I have them right here. I made sure I had copies with me. So this one is called Omi's Famous Chili and Magical Music Mix. It's based
Oh,
on interaction with my grandbaby. Her name is Trinity. So long story short, I was cooking in the kitchen and I had an old school song I was playing on my phone. I had it down low because I didn't think she would be interested in hearing it. She was 6 at the time, but she heard it. It's called It's about the All American Rejects, and I forget the name of the song. It's called It Ends Tonight. So I
oh.
was listening to that song, and she heard it, so she came running into the kitchen. She's like, "What are you listening to?" And I was like, "You hear that?" She's like, "Yeah, I want to hear it. Turn it up, turn it up." And she fell in love with it. And then she kept asking to hear different songs. And well, let me hear another one. Let me hear another one. No, I want to hear your music. And so that's what led me to write that story. And this is actually the first. It's going to be a series. This is the first of the series about Omi and her grandbaby.
Oh.
So that's how that story came about. And
Oh.
then the next one, this is the one that you mentioned about racial identity. I know it's kind of hard to see. There you
Oh
go.
no, that's perfect.
Yeah, this
Identity
is
and self-esteem. Yes.
and that's my grandbaby right there. That's a real depiction of her. So the
Mm.
idea behind this book, okay, based on her again, we were at the grocery store and we were walking out the grocery store, and all of a sudden, and again, she was 6 at the time, and she said to me, just out the blue, "I wish I was white."
Mm,
And I was like,
mm,
"Huh?"
mm, mm, mm.
Yeah, she did. And I was like, "What would make you say that, Trinity?" And
Yeah.
she's like, she shrugged her shoulders,
Didn't even know.
obviously not really understanding the ramifications of saying something like that. Because at
Hmm.
6, I wasn't thinking about anything like that. And I never wished I was white ever in my life. So, of course, that really bothered me.
Hmm.
And I went home and I told her mom about it, my daughter, and I went on social media because I was just, my mom was just reeling, I'm like, why would a 6-year-old say that? But I thought about it, it's the everything really that we know, this world we live in, the social media platforms, TV, movies, everything, you know how it goes in these, in the 21st century. So, and then I also got online, did a little research, and I realized, or I found out that she's definitely not the only one who has made a
Right.
comment like that to her family members. So I was just
Right.
like, that was pretty devastating. So that's what made me
Hmm.
write this book. And so I'll show you some of the pages.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, those are my uncles. So
Wow.
I feature family members in this book. Not only do I talk about just loving yourself as you are, and that you were made in God's image, but I use my family members, some of them, to show how everybody has their own kind of achievements.
Right.
I had
Right.
uncles that were in the service. So was my father. He was in the service as well. And then I knew my grandfather, my mom's dad. His name was Herbert Hawkins. And so I
Mm.
knew that he had a gas station here at one time back in like the 40s, 50s.
Wow.
But my grandmother and my mom, they really never talked about him because of the way he was killed. He was actually ran off the road by a white man.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, back in 57. And
Wow.
so, yeah, it was really obviously very devastating. My mom was 19 when it happened. And so they just, again, never really talked about him at all. And I think that that's just the trauma, having to deal with that trauma of the way they lost their, their loved one, my grandfather and their father and their husband. And I said, well, let me see what I can dig up out here to learn more about this gas station. Because he also had ran a taxi service at one time too. And so I just got into it, did my research, and I learned so much more about him that we never knew before. I found
Right.
articles about him in our local Black-owned newspaper. It's called the Indianapolis Recorder. They're celebrating their 130th year this year. And then also some articles about him in our Indianapolis News too, the regular paper. And I was just like, what? And we didn't know this all these years, like I said, they never talked about him. So none of us knew. And so I just kept digging. And what made me know that he was a community leader is that he was his death was on the front cover of the Indianapolis Recorder, and it was the leading story. So I knew then, oh yeah, he was somebody, but his life got cut short.
Wow.
I even reached out to the Indianapolis Recorder about him. I said, this is like a full circle moment.
Yeah.
Because his great great granddaughter is what led me to do this research.
Right.
Otherwise, we still would have never known. And not only that, I learned that the gas station was located at 614 Indiana Avenue. If you know anything about Indianapolis, Indiana Avenue used to be the cultural hub for Black people here in this city.
Oh, nice.
40s, yeah. And
Nice.
of course, that's where the Walker Building is. Madam Walker Building is right there on Indiana Avenue.
Wow.
And then furthermore, I learned that his gas station was located right across the street from the building.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I learned all this and it was just from this book, for me wanting to write about my grandbaby. And I'm just like, so that was pretty exciting. That was just earlier this year. I published that book in March of this year. So, and then the first book I wrote about her, my grandbaby, was this one. Trinity's Earthly Arrival from Heaven.
Oh.
Because my daughter had been told she couldn't have kids. So I was under the impression that I wasn't going to be a grandma because I know I wasn't having any more kids.
Yeah.
By choice. I just was not interested because I never got married or anything. And so I wrote that story about her just being a gift from heaven because my daughter, with her having her issues, reproductive issues, she had a few miscarriages in her 20s, but then she got pregnant with her at 30. Yeah. And I was living in Michigan at the time, and she called me and told me she was pregnant. I'm like, you're what?
Wow.
So no, blissfully, she was born, without any issues. She had a difficult pregnancy because, obviously she was considered high risk. But luckily Trinity was born without any health issues. And so that's why I wrote about her. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I never dreamed I would be a children's author. Not at all. No, it's because of Trinity that I started writing children's books. My very first book, and I'll bring that out. It's an adult book, and it's an erotic book. And this book had been in the works for over 20 years. This ain't that. And I started working on that book when my daughter was in 3rd grade. And but because of work, being a single mom, going to school, I would pick it up and put it down, dealing with writer's block too. All that was going on, but I knew instinctively that one day I would finish that book. And I finally finished it in 2021. So that was
wonderful.
My dedication.
Wonderful.
And the last one that you mentioned was this one. And the name is Dr. Zephyr Varelli.
Oh, I chopped it up.
Zephyr Varelli. I wrote this book, and I chose to use a pen name because it's a different genre. It's about self-help, productivity, a how-to book. So it's about just anybody could use it. Doesn't matter if you're a student, professional, or just someone who wants to get back on the right path or whatever. You might be trying to lose weight, write a book yourself, start a business, whatever it is. It's just about making sure that you're productive. And it gives you it's a quick. Obviously, it's not very long. It's 10 chapters, so it just kind of gives you steps about how to get going, to stay on task, and stuff like that. And I have each chapter starts with a quote from a different author or somebody, some kind of or actress or something like that. So just motivation. That's what it's about. And then at the end of each chapter, there's a lesson, a review lesson, and also a journaling page for you to write your notes on. So, and that's what
Nice.
inspired me to write that book, just because I'm someone who obviously has spent many years in school, and just having the gumption to stay motivated, because to have that many degrees and to be in school for basically 30 years, that's a long time. Practically my daughter's whole life I've been in school. So now, because like I said, she's 38 now. So and like I said, the big one though was getting that PhD. And I wanted to be the first in my family to do so. That was very important to me.
Oh, tell me, I'm gonna change your display. Tell me, how can people reach you? Would you like to share a website or an email that I can?
Yeah, I can leave my email. I'm in the middle of having to update my website. So I'm basically going to start all over again. But my email is all lowercase. It's leaveamarkpress@gmail.com.
Gmail.com. Okay. I got you on the screen.
Thank you.
Gotcha. Okay, it is 12:51. I just have one more quick little video I want to introduce to each and every one of you, and then we'll be back with more of Books and Besties and Dr. Michelle. We'll be right back.
One of the things I definitely like to share is a testimony on how people and why we would be so important to have our services. I spoke with a young lady who sat on the phone while her son was being pulled over for 45 minutes listening to her conversation. She felt so vulnerable, and she thought to herself, what could I do? Well, if her son would have had these services, instead of being on the phone with his mom, he could have been on the phone with an attorney to help that traffic stop go from 45 minutes down to probably about 5 or 10 minutes or less. Right. And then the other part of why you want to have our services is that we had a small business owner who got our plan, but he didn't get a plan to protect all his businesses. And he ended up in a $30,000 lawsuit. Had he had our services, that lawsuit would have been covered. That's why it's so important to have that. And then finally, on a personal standpoint, we had a member that actually was able to use our services when a alarm company would not honor their agreement. He decided he wanted to cancel, and instead of him just canceling and getting all his money back, they wanted to charge him 2 months of service when he never opened the box. They wanted to charge him an $800 cancellation fee, but because he had these services, the attorney wiped that all out. He didn't have to deal with any of that, and that was all covered by his plan. These are don't want to stress. You want to do like myself. I've had this service for going on 20 years, and you want that stress reliever and not feel vulnerable. Come talk to me again, Terrell Duckworth with Legal Shield. Thank you so much, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you for sharing your knowledge and your information. Thank you, Mr. Duckworth. We appreciate you. Shout out to Atlas the Wonder Dog running around in the back of our studio today. I appreciate him for keeping me company. All right, Avalon, let's get back to Dr. Michelle, because I am fascinated. Both of you have written books inspired by your grandchildren, and that's a wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. Dr. Michelle?
Yes.
Oh, I got it.
One of my grandchildren who I have a book, I haven't put the book out yet. Her name is Trinity also.
Oh, okay. How old is your Trinity?
5.
Oh, okay.
That is wonderful.
Tell
us about Leave a Mark Press. What exactly?
Let me just establish that. Yeah, my own self publishing company. Well, when I first my first book, I went back and forth about trying to submit it to different publishers, but I knew by then it was so much so easy for you to self-publish. So I just like, you know what, I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait, for someone to say yay or nay. And so I said I had waited 25 years to get my first book published or finally out to the masses, because just all the stuff I went through to get it done. and I'm going to self-publish. So that's what made me establish my own publishing company. And I decided to call it Leave a Mark Press because, you know, long after I'm gone, my books will still be here. So that's my point of wanting to leave a mark in the world in a positive way, you know. And plus, I've had, you know, along with my journey, I've had other authors reach out to me for assistance. And so, but at the time I was still finishing up my PhD degree, and I didn't want to take on, you know, projects, you know, outside of my own, you know, we're trying to finish school. But now I am open to helping other authors too. You know, I'm open to that. And I've had people reach out to me, but one thing I've noticed, people really don't understand what it takes and how much it takes to publish. You know, they don't understand that, the background work that you got to do. And I've obviously learned a lot in 4, 5, 6 years since I started my journey with publishing. So that's what made me establish that my own publishing company.
Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful. Avalon, did I interrupt you? I'm sorry, dear. You go ahead and ask your question. You good. You good.
I would like to ask the productivity guide. What is that about?
That is about just helping people get on the right path. You know, if you're trying to accomplish something, it doesn't matter if you're someone who's trying to lose weight, someone who wants to go back to school, just trying to help people be productive in whatever goal they have set for themselves, but find themselves, struggling or stagnant. So that's what that book is for.
That's the book you just showed us.
Yep. I'll show it again. Yep, this one.
Okay, that book. All right.
Yeah. And all of my books are on Amazon too. Yeah. Most of them are published through Amazon, KDP. Most of them are, because it's so easy. Even though I don't, the royalties are not all that great, as far as, because all the fees they take out and everything. But it is really easy to use their platform to publish. I've noticed, because I published Trinity's Earthly Arrival with Ingram Spark, and then the racial. This one I published with Book Baby. Are you familiar with Book Baby? I published that one with them.
Yeah. I heard of it. I've never used it.
Yeah. And one thing I did learn about Book Baby, though, is that they have you purchase 30 or 35 books up front. That's quite a few books. I didn't realize that, when I was going through the process, not until the very end. I'm like, I got to get that many books up front. So you can imagine how much money that is. That's a lot of money up front, along with their other fees. That's why I was like, well, I don't see myself publishing with them again. At least no time soon. So other people have told me about all those. There's so many different ways and different companies to help distribute your book, but you have to be careful and make sure you read the small print, so to speak.
Right.
That is beautiful. Thank you so much, dear. I've learned so much. And just one final question that we have that came from a member of the audience. Can you give us a selling tip? How do you sell your books? And
what have I done?
Yeah.
Well, I've learned how to create those book trailers myself. Looking into it, trying to get other people, to possibly pay them. They want a lot of money. So I'm like, well, you know what? Let me just take the time and look into it myself and learn that process. And so I use Canva. Canva.com. I use that platform to create my book trailers. So, and I post them on Instagram, my Instagram, book, Facebook. And I recently joined TikTok. I really didn't want to join TikTok because I'm not on my phone looking at videos like that, but I knew I'm trying to reach a wider audience. Because that is one thing that I can say as a self-published author, I got that down now, how to publish a book. But reaching the audience is a whole nother beast. And it's like another job. And it takes a lot of time to do that. So, and I've also participated in different events, here in my city, like different book festivals or anyone who has a vendor event, things like that. I've done that as well. I've been on other podcasts, interviewing like I am right now. trying to find all those little different avenues, and reaching out to other people and trying to link up with other authors and things like that. So do my best to be creative, because it's hard to reach an audience. I've come to see, even with all the different genres that I'm writing in, finding your audience is it takes some time, a lot of time, as I'm sure you can speak to as an author. And so, can I ask you a question too? How are you doing it? How are you getting your books out to the audience, to your masses, to the masses?
Pretty much the same way that you're saying you're doing. Pretty much the same way. Like you said, it is kind of hard getting to that audience. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things you have to do to get out there to them.
Yeah. So.
And I truly love, I believe I sell more books when I'm in front of a person than I do when they're just randomly searching online. So I try to do as many book festivals, book fairs, vendor events. I try to do as many of those as I can possibly do. And I have discovered that whatever the vendor fee is, don't go in there anticipating selling enough books to cover that vendor event. Go there with the intention of networking with someone, someone who's published in the same genre that you have. Maybe the two of you can do something together. Just being focused on the networking aspect of it. I know Avalon was talking about a book event she did. Was that last month in August? Is it?
I met Michelle there.
Yeah.
You were at the Independent Authors. Were you at that?
When? When?
The beginning of September. Were you at that event?
Where was it held?
In Roselle, New Jersey.
No.
Okay.
No, that wasn't me. No, I've only done vendor events here in my city, Indianapolis. But I do. That is my desire, to go out and go to other places. But no, I've never been outside of my city to participate. Yeah, no, I haven't.
Well, I tell you both, the Fresh Book Festival in Daytona Beach, Florida. It takes place the end of January, and this will be their 15th year. And I've been a partial sponsor for probably 12, 13 of those years. And that book festival has brought me more clients in terms of people that want their audiobooks produced, because that's what my agency does. We produce audiobooks. We do the narration and the production. It has brought me more audiobook clients than any other effort that I've done online or anything. And so if you go to these book festivals with the intention and the mindset to network with people, it truly can be a blessing to you. It truly can. Yeah.
I believe that, just in my, my experience, and I haven't been in it as long as you have, but I agree. I think that face to face is what really, sells. People, they want to see you. They want to know who you are, know your background, and why you wrote the book, and all
why you wrote the book. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So they can talk to you face to face more easily. Right. I agree with that.
Yep. Well, thank you so much for being our guest today, Dr. Michelle. I appreciate you. Everybody go send an email to leaveamarkpress@gmail.com. Let her know that you saw her on the show today, and get a copy of one of her books. I plan to do so myself. Thanks, Dr. Michelle.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon, y'all.
You too. Bye-bye, dear. Okay. Avalon, we are at the end of the show. Can you believe it? Oh,
wow, this was great.
The time just flew by. Learned something from each and every one of our guests. I appreciate them, and I appreciate you for being my bestie. Thank you, honey.
You too.
All right, everybody. If it's the Lord's will, we'll be back on another Saturday with another episode of Books and Besties. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.